Anyone can plop a handful of flowers into a vase. It takes a little bit more to learn the art of flower arranging, but not too much. My first guest this morning says summer is the season to take on the challenge, and today we are sharing tips to create stunning centerpieces from your very own garden. Lauren Oviatt has a gift for design, not only in home decor as we know, but in florals as well, and she is here to show us how to create pretty, inexpensive arrangements to dress up a summer party, or maybe just bring some color in at home. It's great to see you.
You too. Happy summer.
Happy summer to you, and I get giddy at the chance to learn alongside you. This is a love of yours, a passion of yours. You have a flair for it.
Well, thank you. I am not formally trained, but I have always loved flowers since my granny was teaching me the names of everything growing up. So I love to bring flowers inside. The idea today is that these are flowers you could grow. You could clip, you could go to your neighbors, knock on her door and say, hey, can I borrow this and that? It is meant to be an easy, casual, thrown together centerpiece, or really a bedside piece, or anything that you could use to bring a little bit of the outdoors in.
We can reference that summer party, but I'm so glad you mentioned like the nightstand or the entry table, because I feel like there is this flower movement happening among women, and it is this: I want to enjoy it. I want to bring the color in and the fresh feel into my home, and I love that. I think it's something to celebrate.
Totally, and why not just elevate the everyday?
Why not?
By bringing in things that smell good and make you happy.
Okay, you've got an assortment here of flowers that, like you said, should be blooming around us about now.
Yeah, so most of these are locally grown. You'll see things that might pop up like on the side of the road. Honestly, some of them are like a wildflower.
Okay.
But everything from like an iceberg rose to sunflowers, I love, and I did kind of curate, so you can't just go willy-nilly and grab whatever. But think about things that inspire you, the colors that you like, things that make you happy, and just start pulling. And the idea is that it is imperfect, that it is casual, and that it is just kind of layered and beautiful.
We've got some examples of works of art you've created and curated in the past that incorporate different sorts of blooms and flowers. You did one recently with kale and with tulips.
Yes. Yeah, so I love that. And there was just 2 ingredients. So I kind of did a really simple, like outside-inside arrangement. I had a big vessel, and I created a grid on top of this bowl. It's a salad bowl, okay? You don't have to go shopping for something really special or expensive. But because it was 2 pieces, I just said, okay, I'm gonna do the kale on the outside, the tulips on the inside, and it just bloomed for days, and it made me so happy.
That's it, I think. That's what women are loving about this bring it inside movement. And so simple, the layering can be simple, as that arrangement proves. You recently did something with lilacs?
Yeah, I mean, I love, love, love lilacs. And these are the flowers that you see just blooming all over the place. It's like, I drive by and I'm like, do they even know what they have? You know,
they almost feel out of control in some sense.
And they're just so lovely. But lilacs are fragrant and beautiful. And with this, I literally hardly even shaped them. I used them as a centerpiece for a dinner party that I had. And again, it was one clipping. It was one afternoon. There was no variety except for just the different colors of lilacs that I came across.
So you referenced the salad bowl, and I know you're constantly using different vessels, different textures. What makes a good vase?
Well, I think you have to be careful, because with certain flowers, if you get something that's way too linear and tall, it will always feel out of place. So I always say start small, and it's a really easy way for the at-home florist to clip short and create something that is controlled. And I think sometimes when people get, oh, well, I'll try that, they feel like things are out of control. So if you start with something cylindrical, what we have in front of us is—
Say that word again.
Cylindrical.
I like it, okay.
Going back to science here. This is a 5 by 5.
Yeah.
So 5 inches round, 5 inches tall, but you'll see as we build it that it becomes bigger. So don't be afraid of things that are small, because you really can create volume and the line from those smaller vessels.
So short and small doesn't have to mean low impact or dainty.
Absolutely not. You'll see everything from like a kitchen pitcher, which, you know, take the wooden spoons out and put flowers in for the week, but it doesn't have to be fussy, and it certainly doesn't have to be too tall or big. I think that's kind of the mistake that florists make, is they bring flowers home and plop them in something that's tall, and then there's no shape. So I would say keep it low and make it really special.
I love the low feels sophisticated to me as well. There's a sophistication to it. You've got something low and lovely started for us here.
So I've got you started. Again, like you saw in the video, I have a clear floral tape.
What does that grid actually do?
It creates structure, which is nice. So instead of, like, you could build something in your hand and put it in, but if you're trying to kind of pick and choose, it's really great, and you could use Scotch tape too. Sometimes it doesn't stick quite as well. This is a floral tape, and you go ahead and create a grid ahead of time. This is just 1 by 3. It doesn't have to be super complicated.
And do you leave the grid on once the florals are in place?
Yes, you do. And as you build, you'll be able to kind of place and things will stay, which is nice. You don't want a lot of movement as you're working.
No flopping.
So the idea is that we're going to make something together.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you some tips and tricks so that
Please.
you'll have the confidence to build something on your own. So we have your tools here.
Yes.
This is just a floral scissor. I'm using just a kitchen scissor.
Okay.
Anything that's sharp enough will work. But it's great to start with greenery. So that's what I've done here.
And that surprises me. I would think greenery would fill.
And you can, but it's nice to create a little bit of a framework. And again, with this kind of like clipped from the garden idea, it's like it's supposed to be sort of textural and interesting and have just a little bit of the garden brought inside.
Nice.
So whatever inspires you, you have your own side to work with.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna start with this garden rose, and this could be almost like an iceberg rose.
I'm going to start with the garden rose too. Is that a good choice? I think so. Okay.
So here's something that you can keep in mind.
Yeah.
If you ever really want to get a little technical, you can pull your vase next to the side of your counter.
Okay.
And then you can use the tabletop as a guide to see how tall you want them to go. And then you can clip there.
Okay.
So never clip too much because then you don't have anything to work with. But I've pre-clipped some of these, so it takes a little bit of the guesswork out. But that is a really easy way to start deciding the height.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes it's better to do a little bit taller in the middle and a little bit lower on the sides. But again, as we build, don't be afraid to put it in the water, take it back out, and give it another little haircut.
I actually love your videos that you post on Instagram too, because I can see your brain at work. Like you're analyzing, you're standing back, you're looking, you're thoughtful. You're in the zone, girl.
Well, you know, it's all about just trial and error and what kind of speaks to you. And the flowers that I shop for, they're not technical. You know, I love to find something like this rose. There's lots of different blooms here, so it's taking a lot of that work out for me. I'm not trying to go stem by stem. You have like these little rose buds, which are so interesting and kind of make it feel like you're working with more than just a rose because you have the greenery and the variety of just the plant itself, which I really love.
You've kept our palette color-wise pretty neutral here. There's a few pops here and there. Is that by design?
I am just like a sucker for the green and white. I will never tire of the green and white, and I think it's a good way to just start with the neutral and kind of build upon that based on the season that you're in.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got some sunflowers, so let's do sunflowers next.
Yes.
And these are amazing. Have you ever seen a color of sunflower that's this just light and soft?
That's beautiful.
This feels like it could go outside at a dinner party. You know, you just put a couple of these smaller arrangements kind of around the table.
Do you pick a star flower ahead of time? Like this feels like a big impact flower to me, a big impact bloom.
Yes, and that's a really good point because if everything is big, then there's no focal point. And if everything is small and feathery, sort of like this, then it's sort of wispy and there's no ground to it. So yes, that's a really good point. You want to shop in scale. Some little, some big, so that as you're massing your arrangement, you have like that play of texture and color, which is great.
I am feeling more confident.
Okay, so
I'm
what do you want
copying every single thing you do. Oh yeah, there's the challenge. Can we play some of these wispies? How would you place these?
So this is called Queen Anne's lace, and as long as there's enough to get in the water, I think they're so, so beautiful. So they kind of do, like you'll see these just kind of growing like a wildflower. The other thing that you want to keep in mind is if you can sort of strip the stem, it's a messy work, but the fewer leaves you have in the water, the cleaner the water stays. Now, if you don't care, then I would use something like a solid vessel, like a pitcher or an urn or something so you didn't see the water.
All the floaties.
Yes.
That's a terrible term.
Yeah,
We're designing an elegant centerpiece, and I just used the word floaties. I apologize.
But I love to see the water. I think that kind of adds like an element of shine.
And where would you place the color? I mean, the impact was the sunflowers. How does the color, if we reach for a color, how does that work in?
I mean, I love that. I would grab the dahlia up front, or this purple is called Veronica. And I love how the Veronica kind of has like a dancing quality to it. Like there's a little line and it's going to move as it's in. But you know, there's just not a lot of rhyme or reason to it. And again, if you feel like something's not, look at you.
I'm feeling pretty proud about that.
Okay,
under your tutelage.
I am loving that. The other thing to do is, you know, cake decorators, they work on a lazy Susan. So don't be afraid to turn it because most arrangements will be, you know, appreciated from all sides.
And do you like balance, or do you like to have like sunflowers grouped for a little peekaboo?
Well, I think that anything goes, but I really love a little bit of interest, like not something that's too predictable, especially when you're at home, because it feels like just more approachable to have something that just works and flows, and it's just like, oh, this, I just clipped that this morning.
Just whipped this up, and when is done? When do you reach the finish line? When do you know?
Well, I think that yours looks almost done. I might just do one little thing here or there.
Okay.
And you could have, if you have something with like a little bit of a trail,
Spillage.
you could pull that down to the bottom.
Yeah.
But, oh, it's just beautiful. You can see how effortless that was.
And so satisfying to now look at this on your kitchen island or on your table and say, I did that, I'm celebrating that, what was just outside is now in. Beautiful art form, and you do it so well, Lauren. Thank you so much. Where can we see more of your work and your design?
Well, I'm sharing stuff on Instagram. Kind of this stuff, like the stuff outside my work, but I have an interior design business and a website also where you can find me.
Got some fun projects going this summer that we love looking in on as well. We'll link you from our website, studio5.ksl.com. Thank you. I feel inspired and confident. You accomplished that goal.